Before we dive into the story, we'd like to remind you that you're learning English in a fun and engaging way through WooEnglish. Remember, each story is crafted with clear and simple sentences to make learning not just effective, but enjoyable. If you find this approach helpful, please consider showing your support by hitting the like button. Your likes motivate us to bring more stories like this to you. And don't hesitate to leave a comment below. We love hearing from you and learning about your progress. Now, let's begin our story. Chapter 1. The Warrior of Arabia. In the heart of the Arabian Peninsula, where the desert sands whisper tales of bravery and the stars guide the paths of caravans, lived Khalid ibn al-Walid. Born into the esteemed Quraysh tribe, Khalid's lineage was noble, tracing back to leaders and warriors who shaped the destiny of Mecca, the bustling city at the crossroads of worlds. The era before Islam illuminated Arabia with the light of stars, but it was also a time of shadows. Tribes competed for water, trade routes, and honor, in a society where your word was your bond and your sword defended that bond. Amidst this world of constant challenge and change, Khalid grew, absorbing the lessons of the desert and the city alike. From a young age, Khalid showed signs of greatness. His keen eyes observed the caravan leaders negotiating at the markets, and his ears tuned to the stories of old battles and heroes. The elders saw in him the spark of a leader, the potential to be more than just another warrior among the sands. They watched as the boy grew into a young man, his shoulders broadening, his gaze becoming steadier, and his presence commanding attention without a word. The training of a warrior in pre-Islamic Arabia was not for the faint-hearted. It demanded not only physical strength and agility, but also a sharp mind to understand the intricate politics between tribes. Khalid excelled in these arts. He was swift on his feet, his swordplay a dance of precision and grace. But what set him apart was his strategic thinking, a gift that would later earn him the title of the Sword of Allah. Life in Mecca was a tapestry of traditions and innovations. The city thrived on trade, with caravans arriving from distant lands, bringing spices, silk, and stories from beyond the horizon. It was a melting pot of cultures and religions, where idols were worshipped, and poets were revered as voices of their people. In this vibrant society, Khalid's curiosity grew as did his reputation. Despite his noble birth, Khalid's life was not without challenges. The Quraysh tribe, though powerful, was embroiled in conflicts with neighboring tribes. Blood feuds could last generations, and peace was often a fragile, fleeting dream. Khalid's early experiences on the battlefield were harsh lessons in the realities of life and death. He learned that honor could be both a shield and a sword, protecting one's tribe while also avenging its losses. As Khalid matured, his exploits in skirmishes and caravans raids became the stuff of legend. His courage was unquestionable, his loyalty to his tribe unbreakable. Yet, beneath the warrior's exterior, there was a man who pondered the stars, questioning the endless cycle of vendetta and violence. Was there not more to life than the sword and the sand? The society Khalid inhabited was one of stark contrasts. Amidst the wealth and the poverty, the power struggles, and the simple lives of the desert nomads, he sought his path. The elders spoke of a time of change, a wind that would sweep through the Arabian sands, carrying the scent of something new, something revolutionary. In this world on the brink of transformation, Khalid's story was about to take a turn that would change not only his destiny, but the course of history. The warrior of Arabia, known for his prowess in battle, was on the cusp of encountering a message that would challenge the very foundations of his beliefs and society. As the chapter of his early life closes, we see Khalid standing at the crossroads of history, a figure of strength and contemplation, shaped by the traditions of his tribe, but facing a future that would ask him to redefine what it means to be a warrior. In the chapters to come, his journey will take him beyond the familiar sands of Arabia to battles and challenges that will test his mettle, his faith, and his heart. But for now, let us remember the young Khalid, the warrior of Arabia, whose story is not just one of battles and bravery, but of a quest for meaning in a changing world. His legacy, woven into the fabric of history, serves as a testament to the power of transformation and the enduring spirit of a true leader. In this story of Khalid ibn al-Walid, we find not only the tale of a legendary warrior, but a reflection on the values that guide us through the challenges of our times. Courage, loyalty, and the pursuit of something greater than ourselves. These are the marks of Khalid's life, and they are as relevant today as they were in the deserts of Arabia. Chapter 2. The Call of Prophet Muhammad. In the vibrant city of Mecca, where the bustling markets echoed with the voices of traders and the scent of spices filled the air, a profound change was brewing. It was here, among the ancient stones and desert sands, that Khalid ibn al-Walid encountered the most significant challenge of his life. Not a battle of swords and shields, but a battle of beliefs and hearts. The word spread through Mecca like a desert wind, carrying tales of a man named Muhammad, who spoke of a single God, Allah, and a message of peace, unity, and equality. This new faith, Islam, called on people to abandon the worship of idols and to embrace a life of righteousness and compassion. For the Quraysh, the custodians of the Kaaba and its many idols, this message was not just revolutionary, it was a direct threat to their way of life. Khalid, like many of his tribe, initially met Muhammad's teachings with skepticism. How could they forsake the traditions of their forefathers? What of the gods they had worshipped all their lives? Khalid's heart, trained for battle and loyalty to his tribe, was unprepared for this spiritual upheaval. As the message of Islam continued to spread, tensions in Mecca rose. Those who followed Muhammad, now called Muslims, faced persecution and hardship. Khalid watched from the sidelines, his warrior's mind analyzing the situation. He saw the Muslims' unwavering faith in the face of adversity, their commitment to their belief in one God, and their sense of brotherhood and unity. It was a strength of spirit he had never encountered on the battlefield. Despite his resistance, Khalid could not ignore the pull of Muhammad's message. He found himself drawn to the Prophet's words, struck by their truth and the promise of a community bound not by blood, but by faith. Yet his allegiance to his tribe and his family held him back, trapping him in a conflict between the old ways and the new path that lay before him. The turning point came unexpectedly. Khalid was sent with a group of Quraysh warriors to confront the Muslims, a mission meant to intimidate and disperse Muhammad's followers. As he stood face to face with the believers prepared for conflict, he witnessed something that shook the very foundation of his beliefs. Instead of meeting force with force, the Muslims spoke of forgiveness, of understanding, and of a future where all people could live together in peace. They did not wield their swords, but extended their hands in friendship, even to those who sought to harm them. This act of courage and faith struck a chord in Khalid's heart. He began to question the path of violence and enmity he had been taught to follow. In the quiet of the night, under the vast starlit sky of the desert, Khalid wrestled with his thoughts. The more he pondered Muhammad's teachings, the more he saw the wisdom in them. The concept of a single, compassionate God, who valued justice and mercy over tribal loyalty and vengeance, spoke to something deep within him. After much reflection, Khalid made a decision that would alter the course of his life. He approached Muhammad not as an adversary, but as a seeker of truth. The Prophet welcomed him with open arms, as he did all who came to him in sincerity. Khalid's conversion to Islam was not a moment of defeat, but a profound victory. He had overcome the greatest challenge a warrior could face, the battle within his own soul. As a Muslim, Khalid's life took on new meaning. He used his skills and experience not for personal glory or tribal vendettas, but in the service of a greater cause. His conversion was a testament to the transformative power of faith and the possibility of change, even for those who seemed most entrenched in their ways. Khalid's journey from skepticism to belief, from resistance to acceptance, was a reflection of the larger struggle within Mecca. His story showed that even the most unlikely hearts could be touched by the message of Islam, and that true strength lay not in the sword, but in the power of faith and unity. In embracing Islam, Khalid found not just a new faith, but a new family. The Muslims, once his adversaries, became his brothers and sisters, united in their devotion to Allah and their commitment to spreading the message of peace and compassion. Khalid's transformation was a beacon of hope for all who witnessed it, a reminder that change is always possible and that the path to understanding and harmony begins with an open heart. Chapter 3. Master Strategist. In the vast expanse of the desert, where the heat mirages danced on the horizon and the sand whispered secrets of ancient battles, Khalid ibn al-Walid faced his first great test as a Muslim warrior. The Battle of Mu'tah was not just a confrontation between two armies. It was the moment that would reveal Khalid's strategic genius and cement his place in history as a master of warfare. The Muslim army, vastly outnumbered, stood at the edge of the battlefield, facing the Byzantine forces and their allies. The odds were against them, yet their spirits were unbroken, fueled by faith and the belief in their cause. Among them, Khalid prepared for the battle with a calmness that belied the storm raging within. He knew the challenges ahead, but he also knew that victory lay not in numbers, but in strategy and the will of the heart. As the battle commenced, the Muslim army fought with valor, but the tide turned against them. The Byzantine forces, with their superior numbers and equipment, began to overpower the Muslims. It was then that disaster struck. The Muslim commander fell, and confusion spread among the ranks. In that moment of despair, Khalid stepped forward, taking command of the army. His voice cut through the chaos, rallying the soldiers, reminding them of their purpose and their faith. Khalid quickly assessed the situation, his mind racing through possibilities and strategies. He realized that a direct confrontation would lead to certain defeat. Instead, he devised a bold plan, a tactical retreat that would save his army and ensure the continuation of their mission. This decision was not taken lightly, for the retreat could be seen as a defeat, but Khalid saw beyond the immediate battle to the larger war. He understood that survival was a victory in itself, and that sometimes the greatest courage lay in the wisdom to withdraw. With a series of swift maneuvers, Khalid reorganized the army, forming a rearguard to cover their withdrawal. His orders were precise, his commands clear, leaving no room for doubt or hesitation. The Muslim army began its retreat, moving as one through the desert, with Khalid at the rear, his sword drawn, guarding against pursuit. The Byzantine forces, surprised by this unexpected move, hesitated. Their advantage in numbers suddenly seemed less significant in the face of the Muslims' disciplined withdrawal. Khalid's strategy had turned the tide, not by winning the battle, but by preserving the strength of his army for the struggles to come. As the sun set over the desert, the Muslim army reached safety, weary but intact. The Battle of Mu'tah, though not a victory in the traditional sense, was a testament to Khalid's strategic brilliance and his deep understanding of warfare. He had saved the army from annihilation, ensuring that the message of Islam could continue to spread. Khalid's actions at Mu'tah earned him the respect and admiration of his soldiers and his leaders. He had shown that true leadership was not about seeking glory in battle, but about making the hard decisions that would protect and preserve his people. His tactical retreat was a masterstroke of military strategy, a move that demonstrated his foresight, courage, and unyielding commitment to his cause. In the aftermath of the battle, Khalid's reputation as a master strategist grew. His peers and enemies alike studied his tactics, seeking to understand the mind that could turn a seemingly inevitable defeat into a strategic withdrawal that saved an army. Khalid, however, remained focused on the future, aware that the road ahead would be filled with challenges and opportunities to apply his strategic genius in the service of a greater cause. The Battle of Mu'tah was just the beginning of Khalid's journey as a military leader. In the years to come, he would face greater battles, devise more brilliant strategies, and earn the title of the Sword of Allah. But it was in this first major engagement that Khalid proved his mettle, showing the world that he was not just a warrior, but a master strategist, whose mind was as sharp as his sword. Chapter 4: The Conquest of Mecca. The conquest of Mecca marks a pivotal moment in Islamic history, a time when the city of Prophet Muhammad's birth was embraced by the faith he preached. Among the leaders of this significant event was Khalid ibn al-Walid, a man whose journey from skepticism to devout follower of Islam is a tale of transformation. This chapter tells the story of how Khalid played a crucial role in the peaceful conquest of Mecca, showcasing his loyalty, wisdom, and the profound impact of this victory. As dawn broke over the desert, casting a golden light on the sands, the Muslim forces prepared to enter Mecca. The city stood as a beacon of trade and tradition in Arabia, but it had resisted the message of Islam for years. Now, the moment had arrived for Mecca to open its gates to the faith that had been born within its walls. Leading a battalion was Khalid, once a staunch opponent of Islam, now a devoted commander under Prophet Muhammad. Khalid's role was delicate. He was tasked with securing a strategic entry point into the city, ensuring the safety of both his soldiers and the residents of Mecca. The Prophet Muhammad had given clear instructions. The conquest was to be peaceful. No blood was to be shed unless absolutely necessary. This directive was a testament to the essence of Islam, a call for peace, forgiveness, and unity. Khalid and his men advanced towards Mecca, their hearts set not on battle, but on reconciliation. The people of Mecca, aware of the approaching forces, were uncertain of their fate. Memories of past conflicts and the fear of retribution clouded their minds. Yet, what unfolded was a lesson in mercy and the power of change. As Khalid's forces made their way into the city, they encountered minimal resistance. The Meccans, having heard of the Muslims' intent for a peaceful entry, were relieved. Khalid, with his profound understanding of both the tactical and emotional landscapes, maneuvered his men with precision and care. His actions spoke louder than any words could. This was not a conquest of conquest, but one of faith. The strategic points of Mecca were secured without bloodshed, and the Muslim army was met with a mix of astonishment and relief by the city's inhabitants. Khalid, standing at the heart of Mecca, was a symbol of the transformative power of Islam. His presence reassured the Meccans that their safety was paramount and that the time had come for old grievances to be laid to rest. The peaceful nature of the conquest was a turning point for many in Mecca. Those who had once opposed Muhammad and his followers now saw them in a new light. The compassion and mercy displayed by the Muslim forces under the command of leaders like Khalid opened the hearts of the Meccans to the message of Islam. Khalid's loyalty to Prophet Muhammad and his dedication to the peaceful principles of Islam were evident in every decision he made during the conquest. His ability to lead with both strength and empathy ensured that the city's transition to Islam was smooth and free of the strife that many had feared. This approach not only secured a strategic victory for Islam, but also won the hearts of the people. The conquest of Mecca was a defining moment in Islamic history. It was not just a military achievement, but a spiritual victory that underscored the core values of Islam: peace, forgiveness, and the unity of mankind under one faith. Khalid's role in this event exemplified his commitment to these principles and his unwavering loyalty to Prophet Muhammad. In the days that followed, Mecca transformed. The idols that had once filled the Kaaba were removed, symbolizing the end of idolatry and the establishment of monotheism. The city that had been the center of resistance to Islam now became its spiritual heart, a place of pilgrimage and prayer. Khalid's journey from a warrior of Arabia to a champion of the peaceful conquest of Mecca is a testament to the transformative power of faith. His story teaches us that true strength lies not in the might of arms, but in the courage to embrace change and lead with compassion. The conquest of Mecca, facilitated by leaders like Khalid, remains a beacon of hope and a reminder that peace is possible, even in the most challenging circumstances. Chapter 5: The Battle of Yarmouk. In the annals of history, there are moments that define the future, turning points that change the course of civilizations. One such moment was the Battle of Yarmouk, a confrontation that showcased the strategic brilliance of Khalid ibn al-Walid and marked a pivotal victory for the Islamic forces against the mighty Byzantine Empire. The setting was the Yarmouk River Valley, a land that would become the stage for a clash of empires. The Byzantine Empire, a powerhouse of military strength and wealth, stood poised to crush the rising Islamic State. The stakes were high, and the outcome of this battle would determine the fate of the region. Khalid, known for his tactical acumen and fearless leadership, was at the forefront of the Muslim army. His reputation as a master strategist had spread far and wide, earning him the respect of friends and foes alike. As the Muslim forces prepared to face the Byzantine army, Khalid knew that they were outnumbered and that the challenge ahead was formidable. The Byzantine army, confident in its strength and numbers, expected a swift victory. They looked upon the desert warriors with disdain, underestimating the resolve and strategic genius of the Muslim forces. This miscalculation would prove to be their downfall. Khalid devised a plan that was both daring and ingenious. He knew that the traditional tactics of frontal assault would not work against the superior numbers of the Byzantine army. Instead, he planned to use mobility and surprise to his advantage, striking where the enemy least expected and using the harsh terrain of the valley to his benefit. The battle began with the two armies facing each other across the vast expanse of the valley. The Byzantine forces launched their attack, confident of victory. But Khalid had anticipated their moves. He had ordered his troops to hold their ground, absorbing the initial onslaught without giving way. As the battle raged, Khalid's strategy began to unfold. He had positioned his cavalry in strategic locations, hidden from the Byzantine forces. At his signal, they emerged, charging the flanks of the Byzantine army with ferocity. This unexpected move caught the Byzantines off guard, throwing their ranks into disarray. The turning point came when Khalid led a decisive charge against the Byzantine center, breaking through their lines and sowing chaos in their ranks. The momentum shifted, and the Islamic forces, emboldened by their leader's courage, pushed forward with renewed vigor. Khalid's tactics of using mobility, surprise attacks, and the strategic withdrawal and redeployment of his forces had turned the tide of the battle. The Byzantine army, unable to cope with the fluidity and dynamism of Khalid's strategy, began to falter. The battle raged for days, but the outcome was becoming increasingly clear. The Islamic forces, united under Khalid's leadership and inspired by their faith, fought with a determination that could not be matched. The Byzantine army, despite its initial advantages, was overwhelmed by the strategic genius of Khalid and the indomitable spirit of the Muslim warriors. In the end, the Battle of Yarmouk was a decisive victory for the Islamic forces. It marked a turning point in the expansion of Islam, opening the doors to the conquest of Syria and the eventual retreat of Byzantine influence from the region. Khalid's military genius was lauded as the key to this monumental victory, cementing his legacy as one of history's greatest military commanders. The victory at Yarmouk was not just a triumph of strategy and bravery. It was a testament to the power of belief and the unity of purpose. Khalid and his warriors had faced an enemy that outnumbered them, equipped with the might of an empire. Yet they had prevailed. Their success was a beacon of hope, inspiring future generations to believe in the possibility of overcoming seemingly insurmountable odds. The Battle of Yarmouk remains a symbol of courage, faith, and strategic brilliance. Khalid ibn al-Walid's role in this pivotal moment in history is a testament to his leadership, his visionary tactics, and his unwavering commitment to his cause. Through his actions, Khalid taught us that with determination, unity, and strategic insight, even the greatest challenges can be overcome. Chapter 6. The Sword of Allah. In the vast tapestry of history, where heroes and legends are woven into the very fabric of time, the tale of Khalid ibn al-Walid stands out, a story of valor, faith, and transformation. Among the many titles bestowed upon warriors, few carry the weight and honor of the Sword of Allah. This title, given to Khalid by Prophet Muhammad himself, symbolizes unwavering courage, exemplary leadership, and a commitment to justice. The story of how Khalid came to be known by this esteemed title is as remarkable as the man himself. It begins in the aftermath of the battles that marked the early days of Islam, where Khalid's prowess as a military commander became evident. His strategies, his bravery, and his ability to inspire those under his command had led to significant victories for the Muslim community. It was during this period that Khalid's path crossed with Prophet Muhammad. The Prophet saw in Khalid not just a skilled warrior, but a man of deep faith and potential. Khalid's conversion to Islam was a turning point, not only in his life but also in the history of the early Muslim community. His allegiance to the Prophet and his cause was total and unwavering. Khalid's contributions to the spread of Islam were immense. Time and again, he led the Muslim forces to victory against seemingly insurmountable odds. His tactics on the battlefield were innovative and fearless, earning him the respect of both his allies and his adversaries. Yet, it was not just Khalid's military genius that set him apart. It was also his character, his integrity, and his deep commitment to the principles of Islam. Recognizing Khalid's extraordinary qualities and the pivotal role he played in the defense and expansion of the Muslim community, Prophet Muhammad bestowed upon him the title, the Sword of Allah. This was no mere honorary title. It was a recognition of Khalid's unique place in the annals of Islamic history, a symbol of his divine appointment as a protector of the faith. The significance of this title goes beyond its military connotations. It speaks to the belief in the divine guidance that led Khalid's actions, his dedication to justice, and his role as a defender of the helpless and the oppressed. Khalid wielded his sword, not for personal glory, but in the service of a cause greater than himself. In every battle, in every decision, he sought to uphold the values of Islam: compassion, mercy, and righteousness. As the Sword of Allah, Khalid became a beacon of hope and a source of inspiration for the Muslim community. His leadership on and off the battlefield was a testament to the power of faith and the importance of humility and service. Khalid's life was a message that true greatness comes from serving others and standing up for justice. The title also served as a reminder of the responsibility that comes with power. Khalid understood that his strength and success were not his alone, but were blessings from Allah, to be used in the service of truth and goodness. This deep sense of accountability guided Khalid's actions throughout his life, making him not just a great warrior, but a great human being. Khalid's legacy, encapsulated in the title, the Sword of Allah, continues to resonate through the ages. It reminds us that courage, when guided by faith and a sense of justice, can change the course of history. Khalid's story is not just about the battles he fought, but about the strength of his character, his unwavering commitment to his faith, and his profound impact on the world around him. Chapter 7: Conquests in the Persian Empire. The deserts and plains of the Arabian Peninsula had witnessed the rise of Khalid ibn al-Walid, a leader whose name echoed with respect and fear across the lands. Yet a new chapter awaited, one that would take him and his warriors into the heart of the ancient Persian Empire. This was a realm of mighty kings and vast armies, a land where the banners of the Sassanid dynasty flew high. For Khalid and his men, the campaigns in Persia would test their mettle as never before, challenging them to surpass their own legends. As dawn broke over the horizon, painting the sky with hues of gold and crimson, Khalid stood overlooking his troops. They were far from home, in a land that was as beautiful as it was foreboding. Ahead of them lay the Persian Empire, a power that had stood for centuries, its armies vast, its fortresses formidable. Khalid knew that the battles ahead would demand all their courage, skill, and faith. The first of these challenges came at the river Euphrates, a natural barrier that separated the two mighty forces. The Persians, confident in their numbers and their knowledge of the land, waited on the other side, their archers ready, their cavalry lined up in impressive formations. Khalid, however, was undeterred. He had faced the impossible before and emerged victorious. He knew that success lay not just in strength of arms, but in the will to win. With a strategic brilliance that had become his hallmark, Khalid devised a plan to cross the river. Under the cover of night, his forces constructed makeshift rafts, silent as the desert wind. As dawn approached, they launched their surprise assault, catching the Persian forces off guard. The crossing was perilous, the waters treacherous, but Khalid led from the front, his presence inspiring his men to overcome their fear and face the enemy with unyielding resolve. The battle that ensued was fierce, the clash of swords and shields echoing across the riverbanks. Khalid's tactics on the battlefield, his ability to read the enemy's movements and counter them with precision, turned the tide in their favor. The Persians, despite their superior numbers, found themselves outmaneuvered and overwhelmed. The victory at the Euphrates was a testament to Khalid's leadership and the indomitable spirit of his warriors. Yet, the campaign in the Persian Empire was not just a series of battles. It was a journey through a land rich in history and culture. As they moved deeper into Persian territory, Khalid and his men encountered cities and peoples who had never before seen the warriors of the desert. Khalid approached these encounters with the same strategic insight that he applied on the battlefield. He offered peace and protection to those who would accept the new faith, respecting the traditions and cultures of the lands they conquered. The conquests in Persia were not merely military victories. They were the opening of a dialogue between two great civilizations. Khalid's respect for the Persian people and their way of life earned him not only their submission, but their respect. Through his actions, he laid the foundations for a lasting peace and mutual understanding. One of the most significant moments of the campaign came with the capture of the city of Hira, a jewel of the Persian Empire. Khalid's approach to the city demonstrated his strategic genius. Instead of laying siege, he negotiated with the city's leaders, offering them terms that preserved their dignity and safeguarded their people. The fall of Hira was achieved not through bloodshed, but through diplomacy, a victory of wisdom over warfare. The campaigns in the Persian Empire solidified Khalid's reputation as a master strategist and a noble leader. He had faced one of the world's greatest powers and emerged victorious, not through sheer force, but through a combination of military brilliance, strategic diplomacy, and a deep respect for the people he encountered. As Khalid and his warriors returned home, they brought with them not just the spoils of war, but stories of a land rich in history, of battles fought and won, of cities conquered and peoples embraced. They had ventured into the heart of the Persian Empire and woven their own chapter into the tapestry of its history. The conquests in Persia were a defining moment in Khalid's life and in the spread of Islam. They demonstrated that true conquest lay not in the destruction of cities and the subjugation of peoples, but in the courage to face formidable challenges, the wisdom to seek peace, and the strength to build bridges between diverse cultures. Khalid ibn al-Walid, known as the Sword of Allah, had once again proven himself not just as a warrior of unparalleled skill, but as a leader of profound vision. His campaigns in the Persian Empire were a testament to his legacy, a legacy that would endure through the ages, inspiring generations to come with tales of bravery, strategy, and the enduring power of faith. Chapter 8. A Life of Devotion. Beyond the clashing of swords and the thunder of cavalry, there was another side to Khalid ibn al-Walid, a facet of his life that was as profound as his victories on the battlefield. Known as the Sword of Allah, Khalid's legacy was not only shaped by his military genius, but also by his deep devotion to Islam. This chapter explores Khalid's life of faith, showcasing how his beliefs influenced his actions and how his devotion to Islam guided him through both victories and challenges. In the quiet moments before dawn, when the world was still wrapped in the soft cloak of night, Khalid would rise. The tranquility of these early hours was precious, a time for reflection and connection with the divine. Facing the direction of the holy city of Mecca, he would perform his prayers, a daily ritual that grounded him and reminded him of his purpose. For Khalid, prayer was not just a duty. It was a conversation with Allah, a source of strength and guidance. Khalid's faith was his compass, guiding him through the complexities of life. He believed that every victory on the battlefield was a testament to Allah's favor, and that every challenge was a test of his faith. This belief shaped his approach to leadership, making him a commander who led not just with strategies and tactics, but with principles and values. His men followed him, not only because of his prowess as a warrior, but because they saw in him a man of integrity and honor. Khalid's devotion to Islam was evident in his actions off the battlefield as well. He was known for his generosity, often distributing the spoils of war among his soldiers and the needy. He understood that wealth was a trust from Allah to be used in the service of others. This generosity earned him the love and loyalty of those around him, reinforcing the bonds of brotherhood that were so crucial to the early Muslim community. But Khalid's life of devotion was not without its challenges. There were moments of doubt and uncertainty, times when the weight of his responsibilities threatened to overwhelm him. In these moments, Khalid turned to the Quran, seeking solace and guidance in its verses. The words of Allah, revealed to Prophet Muhammad, were a light in the darkness, offering hope and reassurance. One of the most striking examples of Khalid's devotion was his commitment to justice. He was a fierce protector of the innocent and a champion of the oppressed. Khalid believed that true devotion to Islam meant standing up for those who could not defend themselves, regardless of their faith or background. This commitment to justice was not just an ideal. It was a principle that Khalid lived by, influencing his decisions and actions throughout his life. Khalid's devotion to Islam also shaped his view of leadership. He saw himself as a servant of Allah, tasked with the responsibility of guiding his people with wisdom and compassion. This humility was a defining feature of his leadership, setting him apart from many of his contemporaries. Khalid understood that power was a test, and he strove to use his position to spread the message of Islam and to improve the lives of those under his command. As Khalid's reputation grew, so did the challenges he faced. His successes on the battlefield made him a target for his enemies, but Khalid remained steadfast in his faith. He faced adversity with patience and perseverance, drawing strength from his belief in Allah's plan. This resilience in the face of hardship was a testament to his character and his unwavering devotion to Islam. Khalid's life of devotion was a journey of faith, a testament to the transformative power of Islam. His story is a reminder that true greatness is not measured by victories on the battlefield, but by the strength of one's character and the depth of one's faith. Khalid ibn al-Walid, the Sword of Allah, was a warrior, a leader, and a devout follower of Islam, whose legacy continues to inspire those who seek to live a life of devotion and service. Chapter 9. Legacy of Leadership. In the vast expanse of history, where warriors and leaders emerge and fade, the legacy of Khalid ibn al-Walid stands as a beacon of enduring leadership. Known as the Sword of Allah, Khalid's influence extended beyond the battlefield, shaping the Islamic military tradition and leaving an indelible mark on those who followed him. Khalid's leadership style was unique, a blend of fierce determination and profound compassion. He led by example, always at the forefront of battle, sharing the hardships and dangers with his men. This solidarity forged a deep bond between Khalid and his soldiers, a bond that was the cornerstone of their victories. More than just a commander, Khalid was a mentor to his troops. He understood that the strength of an army lay not just in its numbers or its weaponry, but in the hearts and minds of its soldiers. He nurtured their faith, bolstered their morale, and instilled in them a sense of purpose. Under Khalid's leadership, his men fought not for glory or spoils, but for a cause they believed in deeply. Khalid's tactical genius on the battlefield was unmatched, but it was his strategic vision that truly set him apart. He saw beyond the immediate clash of swords, understanding the broader implications of his victories. Khalid was not just fighting battles, he was building an empire, shaping the future of the Islamic State. His campaigns were carefully planned with an eye towards securing long-term peace and stability for the Muslim community. The impact of Khalid's leadership extended beyond his lifetime, influencing the Islamic military tradition for generations. His strategies and tactics were studied by future commanders, his victories serving as lessons in the art of war. Khalid's legacy was a testament to the power of visionary leadership, demonstrating how a single individual's influence could shape the course of history. But perhaps the most profound aspect of Khalid's legacy was the way he inspired his soldiers. He showed them that true leadership was about more than just command and control. It was about inspiring others to rise above their limitations. Khalid's soldiers revered him not just as a commander but as a leader who brought out the best in them, who led with integrity, courage, and unwavering faith. Khalid's leadership style was also characterized by his adaptability. He was able to adjust his tactics according to the situation, always keeping his enemies guessing. This flexibility was a key factor in his success, allowing him to outmaneuver his opponents and secure victories against overwhelming odds. Despite his numerous victories and accomplishments, Khalid remained humble, attributing his success to Allah's will. This humility endeared him to his men and earned him the respect of friend and foe alike. Khalid understood that leadership was a responsibility, not a privilege, and he carried out his duties with a sense of solemn duty. Khalid ibn al-Walid's legacy of leadership is a rich tapestry woven from the many battles he fought, the lives he touched, and the empire he helped to build. He was a leader who transcended the era in which he lived, becoming a symbol of courage, integrity, and unwavering devotion to his faith. His impact on his soldiers and on the Islamic military tradition is a legacy that endures, a beacon for all who seek to lead with honor and conviction. In reflecting on Khalid's legacy, we are reminded of the enduring qualities of great leadership. It is not measured by victories alone, but by the ability to inspire, to adapt, and to lead with a sense of purpose. Khalid's life teaches us that true leaders are those who forge deep connections with their followers, who lead by example, and who are guided by a higher cause. Khalid ibn al-Walid's story is a testament to the power of leadership to change the course of history. His legacy serves as an inspiration to future generations, a reminder that great leaders are not just born. They are made through the trials they face, the decisions they make, and the lives they touch. In the annals of history, Khalid's legacy of leadership shines brightly, a beacon for all who aspire to lead with courage, wisdom, and unwavering faith. Chapter 10. The Exile. In the tapestry of Khalid ibn al-Walid's life, woven with threads of victories and valor, there came a twist that few had anticipated. This chapter, titled The Exile, explores the turning point in Khalid's life, a period marked by political intrigue that led to his removal from military command and his life afterward. This was a time that tested not just Khalid's resilience, but also his unwavering faith and character. As the Islamic State expanded, its leadership faced new challenges. The unity and simplicity of the early days began to give way to the complexities of governing a vast and diverse territory. With growth came politics, and with politics, intrigue. It was against this backdrop that Khalid found himself at a crossroads. Khalid's successes on the battlefield had made him a hero among the people. His name was synonymous with victory, his leadership style admired by soldiers and civilians alike. However, his fame also sowed seeds of envy and concern among some in the political leadership. They worried that Khalid's popularity and influence posed a threat to their authority. The decision to remove Khalid from military command did not come from the battlefield, where his strategies and bravery were unmatched. Instead, it was made in the quiet corridors of power, where alliances and rivalries shaped the fate of individuals and nations. The official reason given for Khalid's removal was the need for new leadership and the redistribution of resources. However, those who knew the inner workings of politics understood that the decision was influenced by more than just strategic considerations. Khalid received the news of his removal with a stoicism that surprised many. There was no outburst of anger, no demand for explanations or appeals. Instead, Khalid accepted the decision with grace, a testament to his character and his devotion to Islam. He understood that his duty was to serve, whether on the battlefield or away from it. The period that followed, often referred to as his exile, was a time of reflection for Khalid. Away from the clamor of warfare and the demands of leadership, he found solace in his faith. He spent his days in prayer and contemplation, seeking wisdom in the Quran and finding peace in the simplicity of life. This was a different kind of battle, one fought in the quiet of his heart, a struggle to understand the will of Allah and his place in the world. Khalid's exile was not just a personal journey, it was also a time of influence. His reputation as a noble warrior and a devout Muslim made him a respected figure in the community. People sought his counsel, and he shared his knowledge and experience, guiding the younger generation and continuing to serve his community in whatever way he could. Despite his removal from command, Khalid's legacy continued to grow. Stories of his bravery and leadership inspired poets and storytellers, ensuring that his contributions to the Islamic State and its military tradition were not forgotten. Khalid may have been removed from the battlefield, but his impact on the Islamic military tradition and the hearts of the people remained undiminished. The exile of Khalid ibn al-Walid is a poignant reminder of the unpredictable nature of life. It shows that true greatness is not just about the victories we achieve, but also about how we respond to challenges and setbacks. Khalid's life after his removal from military command was a testament to his strength of character, his deep faith, and his unwavering commitment to serving his community. As we reflect on this chapter of Khalid's life, we are reminded of the values that define true leadership. It is not the positions we hold or the power we wield that matter, but how we lead our lives and the impact we have on those around us. Khalid's exile teaches us that even in times of trial and uncertainty, we can find strength in our faith, purpose in our actions, and wisdom in our struggles. Khalid ibn al-Walid's story is not just a tale of battles fought and won. It is a narrative of resilience, faith, and enduring legacy. The exile is a chapter that adds depth to his legend, showcasing the man behind the warrior, a man who faced adversity with dignity and grace, whose spirit remained unbroken, and whose legacy continues to inspire. Chapter 11. The Warrior's Wisdom. In the sweeping saga of Khalid ibn al-Walid's life, filled with battles and leadership, lies a treasure trove of wisdom. Known as the Sword of Allah, Khalid was not only a formidable warrior, but also a man of deep insight and vision. This chapter, The Warrior's Wisdom, compiles his teachings and quotes, each a beacon illuminating the path of righteousness, courage, and understanding. One of Khalid's most enduring teachings is about the nature of courage. He once said, "Courage doesn't mean you don't get afraid. Courage means you don't let fear stop you." This simple yet profound statement reflects Khalid's approach to life's challenges. He acknowledged fear as a natural human emotion, but emphasized the importance of overcoming it to achieve one's goals. This lesson in courage is timeless, teaching us that bravery is not the absence of fear, but the strength to move forward despite it. Khalid's wisdom also extended to the realm of leadership. He believed that a leader is like a shepherd. He stays behind the flock, letting the most nimble go out ahead, whereupon the others follow, not realizing that all along they are being directed from behind. This analogy highlights Khalid's understanding of leadership as a role of guidance and support, not merely command and control. He viewed a true leader as one who empowers others, guiding them subtly and letting them shine. On the battlefield, Khalid's strategic acumen was unmatched, but it was his vision of peace that truly defined his wisdom. He famously stated, "War is deception." While this may seem a simple acknowledgement of military strategy, it also speaks to Khalid's deep desire for peace. He understood that war was a means to an end, not an end in itself. His ultimate goal was always the establishment of peace and security for his people. Khalid's insights into faith and destiny were profound. He believed it is not the severity of the punishment that deters the crime, but the certainty of its occurrence. This reflects his deep faith in divine justice and the importance of accountability. Khalid's faith in Allah guided his every decision, and he saw his victories and challenges as part of a larger divine plan. His trust in Allah was unwavering, and he encouraged others to see beyond immediate struggles to the broader picture of divine will. Perhaps one of Khalid's most touching teachings is about the value of life and the transient nature of worldly achievements. He once reflected, "I have sought glory on the battlefields, but I have realized that true glory is in doing what is right." This realization speaks volumes about Khalid's growth as a person. Despite his numerous military victories, he understood that true success lies in righteousness and moral integrity. Khalid ibn al-Walid's legacy is not just one of conquests and heroism, but also of wisdom and vision. His teachings continue to inspire those who seek to live a life of courage, leadership, faith, and righteousness. The Warrior's Wisdom is a chapter that not only compiles the sayings of a great warrior, but also offers us insights into living a meaningful life. Chapter 12. The Final Battle. As the chapters of Khalid ibn al-Walid's life unfold, a tale of valor and wisdom emerges, culminating in a period that might be seen as his final battle, not on the field with swords and shields, but within the quiet solitude of reflection and legacy. This chapter, The Final Battle, takes us through the last years of Khalid's life, a warrior in peace, contemplating the tapestry of battles fought, victories won, and the serene acceptance of life's ultimate truth. In the twilight of his years, Khalid found himself far removed from the clamor of warfare that had defined much of his life. The man who was once the sword of the battlefield had sheathed his weapon, turning instead to the pen and prayer, carving out a legacy that was as much about the peace he fostered as the battles he won. His home became a place of wisdom, where the echoes of his past glories blended with the tranquility of his present. Khalid's days were filled with teaching and reflection. He shared stories of his journeys, not to boast of his conquests, but to impart the lessons they held. His tales of battle were now lessons in strategy, faith, and the importance of striving for justice. He spoke of the courage to stand for what is right, the wisdom to seek peace over conflict, and the humility to accept one's destiny with grace. Even as his physical strength waned, Khalid's spirit remained unyielding. He continued to be a source of guidance for those who sought him out, offering counsel to leaders and comforting words to the common folk. His home was open to all, a haven where wisdom flowed as freely as the waters of a tranquil oasis. Khalid's reflections in his final years were not filled with regret, but with a deep understanding of life's fleeting nature. He often remarked, "In the end, we are but travelers on a journey from Allah to Allah." This profound acceptance of life and death underscored his unshakable faith and the peace he had found in his heart, a peace that had eluded him in the tumult of his earlier years. As Khalid looked back on his life, he saw the battles he fought not as ends in themselves, but as means to a greater purpose. He had fought for the spread of Islam, for justice, and for the protection of his people. Now, in the quiet of his final days, he saw that his true legacy was not in the lands he conquered, but in the hearts he touched and the wisdom he imparted. Khalid's final battle was with the inevitable truth of mortality, a battle that every soul must face. When his time came, he met it with the same courage and dignity that had marked his life. His passing was mourned by many, not just as the loss of a great warrior, but as the departure of a wise teacher and a compassionate soul. In the years that followed, Khalid's legacy lived on, not only in the annals of history, but in the lessons of leadership, courage, and faith he left behind. He had been a sword for his faith, a shield for his people, and in the end, a beacon of peace and wisdom. The final battle of Khalid ibn al-Walid's life teaches us that the greatest victories are those won within ourselves, over our fears, our doubts, and our limitations. Khalid's journey from the battlefield to the tranquility of his final days is a testament to the power of transformation and the enduring legacy of a life well lived. As we close this chapter on Khalid ibn al-Walid, we are reminded of the enduring impact of our actions and the importance of living a life guided by principles, faith, and a deep commitment to the betterment of humanity. Khalid's story, marked by both war and peace, invites us to reflect on our own paths and the legacy we wish to leave behind. Chapter 13. The Hero Remembered. In the vast expanse of time where heroes rise and fade, the story of Khalid ibn al-Walid, known as the Sword of Allah, remains a beacon of enduring legacy. This chapter, The Hero Remembered, takes us on a journey through the ways Khalid is celebrated in Islamic culture and beyond, from monuments that stand as silent witnesses to his greatness, to the literature that breathes life into his legend. Across the lands that once echoed with the thunder of Khalid's cavalry, monuments stand in quiet homage to his memory. In the city of Homs, Syria, his resting place is marked by a mosque and mausoleum, a place of serenity where people from all walks of life come to pay their respects. The structure, with its graceful domes and towering minarets, is not just a monument to a warrior, but a tribute to a man who embodied the principles of faith, courage, and wisdom. Here, visitors whisper prayers and reflect on the lessons of Khalid's life, a bridge across centuries, connecting the past with the present. Khalid's legacy is also preserved in the rich tapestry of Islamic literature, where his exploits are recounted with admiration and awe. His life story has inspired countless poems, stories, and books, each exploring different facets of his character and achievements. These works of literature serve not only as historical accounts, but also as sources of inspiration, teaching new generations about the virtues of bravery, leadership, and unwavering faith. In the realm of popular culture, Khalid ibn al-Walid's name resonates with the same force as it did centuries ago. Films, television series, and documentaries have been dedicated to telling his story, bringing the tale of the Sword of Allah to audiences around the world. Through these modern mediums, Khalid's legacy is introduced to those who may not have encountered him in the pages of history books, ensuring that his story continues to inspire. The impact of Khalid's life extends beyond the Muslim world, earning him a place among the pantheon of great military leaders in world history. His tactical genius and leadership are studied in military academies around the globe, where students analyze his campaigns to glean insights into the art of war. Khalid's ability to achieve victory against overwhelming odds is presented as a testament to his strategic brilliance and his deep understanding of the human spirit. Perhaps the most profound way Khalid is remembered is in the hearts of the people. For many, he represents the ideal of a true believer and a valiant hero who stood firm in the face of adversity. His story is a source of strength and encouragement, a reminder that with faith and determination, any obstacle can be overcome. Across the world, parents tell their children the story of Khalid ibn al-Walid, instilling in them the values of courage, integrity, and devotion to one's beliefs. The Hero Remembered is not just a recounting of how Khalid is celebrated in monuments, literature, and popular culture. It is a reflection on the timeless nature of his legacy. Khalid ibn al-Walid's life continues to resonate because it embodies universal values that transcend time and culture. His journey from a warrior of Arabia to a revered figure in Islamic history and beyond is a testament to the enduring power of a life lived with purpose and conviction. As we close this chapter, we are reminded that heroes like Khalid ibn al-Walid live on not just in stone and text, but in the lessons they leave behind. Khalid's legacy is a beacon that guides us through the challenges of life, inspiring us to live with courage, lead with wisdom, and believe with all our hearts. The hero remembered is a hero never forgotten, his story a light that continues to shine across the ages, illuminating the path for generations to come. Chapter 14. Khalid in Literature. Across the centuries, the saga of Khalid ibn al-Walid has been woven into the fabric of Islamic literature and historical texts, his legacy enduring through words that echo his valor and wisdom. This chapter, Khalid in Literature, delves into the rich tapestry of stories, poems, and historical accounts that celebrate Khalid's life, exploring how his legend has been preserved and cherished in the annals of history. In the heart of Islamic literature, Khalid emerges as a figure of unparalleled courage and faith. Poets have sung his praises in verses that capture the essence of his bravery and the depth of his devotion. Through poetic language, Khalid's battles transform into epic tales of heroism, where each sword stroke is guided by divine will, and every victory is a testament to his unwavering belief in Allah. These poems are not mere recounts of historical events. They are odes to the spirit of a man who embodied the virtues of a true warrior of Islam. Historical texts offer a more detailed account of Khalid's life, from the sands of Arabia to the battlefields where he cemented his legacy. These writings, penned by scholars and historians, provide a window into the complexities of the era in which Khalid lived. Through their narratives, we glimpse the challenges he faced, not only from his adversaries on the battlefield, but also from the political intrigue that marked his later years. Yet, in these accounts, Khalid's character shines through. His strategic genius, his compassion for his troops, and his commitment to justice. Khalid's portrayal in literature extends beyond the traditional realms of poetry and history. In the stories told from generation to generation, he becomes a symbol of the eternal struggle between right and wrong, a champion of the oppressed, and a guardian of the faith. These tales, while perhaps embellished over time, speak to the deep impact Khalid has had on the collective consciousness of the Muslim world. They serve as reminders of the qualities that define true leadership and the importance of living a life in service to something greater than oneself. Modern interpretations of Khalid's life bring new dimensions to his legacy. In contemporary novels and plays, he is often depicted as a complex character, a man of his time, yet timeless in his values. These works explore the human side of Khalid, delving into his thoughts and emotions, his struggles and triumphs. Through these portrayals, Khalid becomes accessible to a new generation, his story a bridge connecting the past with the present. The enduring legacy of Khalid ibn al-Walid in literature is a testament to the power of storytelling. It is through words that his legend lives on, inspiring those who seek to understand the essence of courage, leadership, and faith. Khalid in literature is not just a chapter in a book. It is a chapter in the ongoing story of human endeavor and spiritual quest. As we turn the pages of history and literature, we find that Khalid's story is not confined to the past. It is a living narrative that continues to resonate, offering lessons that are as relevant today as they were centuries ago. In the portrayal of Khalid in Islamic literature and historical texts, we find a mirror reflecting the virtues we aspire to embody in our own lives. Khalid ibn al-Walid's journey, immortalized in the words of poets, historians, and storytellers, reminds us that true greatness is achieved not by the sword alone, but by the strength of one's character and the purity of one's faith. His legacy, preserved in literature, continues to inspire, guide, and enlighten, a beacon for all who seek to walk the path of righteousness and courage. Chapter 15. The Art of War. In the annals of military history, Khalid ibn al-Walid's name shines as a master strategist and tactician, whose art of war has transcended time and geography. This chapter, The Art of War, delves into the ingenious military tactics and strategies employed by Khalid, which continue to be studied and admired in military academies around the world. Khalid's military genius was not merely a product of innate talent, it was honed through experience, study, and an unwavering commitment to excellence. He understood the battlefield as a chessboard, where every move was calculated and every strategy had a purpose. His victories were not achieved by brute force alone, but through a combination of psychological warfare, speed, surprise, and an in-depth understanding of his enemy's strengths and weaknesses. One of the hallmarks of Khalid's military strategy was his use of mobility. He transformed the traditional static battle lines of the time into fluid maneuvers, where speed and the element of surprise became lethal weapons. His cavalry, known for their swiftness and agility, could strike unexpectedly, disorienting the enemy and creating chaos within their ranks. This tactic of rapid movement and surprise attacks became a signature of Khalid's campaigns, enabling him to win battles against numerically superior forces. Khalid also mastered the art of psychological warfare, understanding that the morale of both his troops and his enemies played a crucial role in the outcome of battles. He employed various tactics to boost the spirits of his men, from inspirational speeches to demonstrating personal courage on the front lines. Conversely, he sowed seeds of doubt and fear among his enemies through misinformation, feigned retreats, and precisely targeted strikes against their leaders. Khalid knew that victory often began in the mind, long before the first sword was drawn. Another aspect of Khalid's military prowess was his strategic use of terrain. He meticulously studied the landscapes where battles were to take place, using the environment to his advantage. Whether it was crossing seemingly impassable deserts to surprise his enemies, or positioning his forces in such a way that the sun and wind were against his opponents, Khalid turned the battlefield into a weapon in itself. Khalid's ability to adapt his strategies based on the situation was unparalleled. He was not bound by a single doctrine, but was flexible, able to change his tactics mid-battle if needed. This adaptability was crucial in battles like Yarmouk, where his strategic withdrawals, repositioning of troops, and counterattacks led to a decisive victory against the Byzantine army. The legacy of Khalid's art of war is not just in the victories he achieved, but in the lessons he left behind. His life teaches us that true mastery of warfare requires a balance of strength and wisdom, courage and caution, action and reflection. It shows us that the greatest warriors are not those who seek battle, but those who fight for a cause greater than themselves, with honor, integrity, and a deep respect for their adversaries. The Art of War chapter is not merely a recounting of Khalid's military achievements. It is an exploration of the mind of a genius whose understanding of warfare transcends the ages. Khalid ibn al-Walid remains a towering figure in military history, a strategist whose tactics and principles continue to inspire and instruct future generations of leaders and warriors. Chapter 16. Beyond the Battlefield. While the name Khalid ibn al-Walid resonates through the annals of history as a master tactician and fearsome warrior, his legacy extends far beyond the battlefields. This chapter, Beyond the Battlefield, sheds light on Khalid's equally significant contributions to the Islamic community, highlighting his endeavors that shaped the spiritual and societal foundations of the early Islamic State. Khalid's journey was marked by a profound transformation from a warrior to a guardian of faith and a builder of community. His devotion to Islam was not limited to defending its territories, but also to nurturing its essence within the society. Beyond his military prowess, Khalid was a man of deep faith and commitment to the principles of Islam, which guided his actions both in public and private life. One of Khalid's most notable contributions was his role in reconciling tribes and fostering unity among the diverse communities within the Islamic State. Understanding the strength that lies in unity, Khalid used his influence and leadership to mediate disputes, resolve conflicts, and bring people together under the banner of Islam. His efforts in promoting peace and harmony were instrumental in solidifying the foundation of the early Muslim community, making it stronger and more cohesive. Khalid also played a crucial role in spreading the message of Islam. His travels and military campaigns brought him into contact with various tribes and peoples, to whom he conveyed the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad with wisdom and compassion. Khalid's respect for different cultures and his ability to communicate the essence of Islam in a manner that was respectful and inviting won him many hearts and minds. Through his actions, Khalid demonstrated that the spread of Islam was not through coercion, but through understanding, dialogue, and exemplifying the virtues of the faith. Beyond the realm of diplomacy and evangelism, Khalid contributed to the welfare of the Islamic community through his personal acts of charity and support for the needy. He was known for his generosity, often distributing the spoils of war among his soldiers and the poor. Khalid's concern for the well-being of others, especially the less fortunate, was a testament to his deep empathy and commitment to the principles of social justice and equality in Islam. Moreover, Khalid's legacy as a mentor and a source of inspiration cannot be overlooked. His life, marked by courage, faith, and a relentless pursuit of excellence, became a model for future generations. Through his example, Khalid taught the values of perseverance, integrity, and the importance of striving for a cause greater than oneself. His wisdom and experience were invaluable to the young men and women of his time, whom he mentored with care and sincerity. In his later years, Khalid's home became a gathering place for scholars, poets, and seekers of knowledge, turning it into a beacon of learning and intellectual exchange. Here, discussions on faith, philosophy, and the affairs of the state were held, contributing to the intellectual and spiritual growth of the community. Beyond the battlefield is a chapter that explores the multifaceted contributions of Khalid ibn al-Walid to the Islamic community, painting a picture of a man whose impact was as profound in peace as it was in war. Khalid's enduring legacy is a reminder that true greatness is achieved not only through victory in battle, but also through the virtues of compassion, unity, and service to humanity. As we reflect on Khalid's life, we are reminded of the importance of looking beyond the surface to understand the true measure of a person. Khalid ibn al-Walid's story teaches us that our contributions to society, our efforts to uplift others, and our commitment to living by our principles are what truly define our legacy. Through his life, Khalid continues to inspire us to rise beyond our challenges and to make a lasting impact on the world around us. Chapter 17: The Eternal Warrior. As the sun sets on the remarkable saga of Khalid ibn al-Walid, known as the Sword of Allah, we reach the final chapter, the Eternal Warrior. Khalid's legacy is not confined to the battles he won or the territories he conquered, but is deeply rooted in the timeless lessons of courage, faith, and leadership that his life exemplifies. This concluding chapter reflects on the enduring impact of Khalid on history and the universal values he embodied. Khalid's journey was one of transformation and transcendence. From a fearless warrior on the battlefield to a wise leader and a devout servant of Islam, his life was a testament to the power of change and the strength of the human spirit. Khalid's legacy teaches us that true courage is not about the absence of fear, but facing it with conviction and the willingness to stand up for what is right, even in the face of adversity. Faith was the cornerstone of Khalid's existence, guiding his actions and decisions. His deep trust in Allah fueled his resolve and gave him the strength to overcome challenges that seemed insurmountable. Khalid's life reminds us of the importance of faith, not just in a higher power, but in ourselves and our ability to make a difference. His devotion shows us that faith can be a source of strength and clarity, illuminating our path during the darkest times. Leadership for Khalid was not about wielding power, but about inspiring those around him to achieve a common goal. His leadership style was characterized by empathy, strategic insight, and an unwavering commitment to justice. Khalid led by example, earning the respect and loyalty of his followers through his actions and integrity. His legacy as a leader teaches us that true leadership comes from serving others, guiding with wisdom, and leading with a heart full of compassion. The eternal warrior, Khalid ibn al-Walid, left an indelible mark on history, not just as a military genius, but as a person of profound moral character. His life is a beacon for all who seek to live with purpose, fight for justice, and lead with courage. The stories of his battles, his sayings, and his deeds continue to inspire generations, transcending time and geography. As we conclude this chapter and the story of Khalid, we are left with enduring lessons that resonate in our lives today. His legacy encourages us to embrace change, to face our battles with courage, and to lead with a vision that goes beyond our immediate surroundings. Khalid's life exemplifies the essence of the eternal warrior, one who fights not just on the battlefields, but against the challenges of life, armed with faith, courage, and a vision for a better world. In remembering Khalid ibn al-Walid, we celebrate not just a hero of the past, but a source of inspiration for the present and the future. His story is a reminder that each of us has the potential to leave a lasting impact on the world, to be warriors in our own right, fighting for truth, justice, and peace. The Eternal Warrior is not just a title bestowed upon Khalid, but a mantle that we can all aspire to wear, guided by the timeless values he lived by. Khalid's saga may have ended, but his journey continues in the hearts and minds of those who cherish his legacy. As the curtain falls on this chapter, we carry forward the lessons of his life, inspired to live with the same courage, faith, and conviction that defined the eternal warrior, Khalid ibn al-Walid.